on my phone, but there's nobody here. You can find me right at home, playing Gran Turismo. If you ask what I do, I'll tell you it's none of your business. And if you got a problem, I will knock you in the fizzer. Now meet me at the club, cause everyone going. Fresh meat at the club, and the drinks they be flowing. Gold chains, the ice be showing. If you ain't got a milli, you best be going. Meet me at the club, everyone going. Meet me at the club, the drinks they be flowing. Meet me at the club, everyone going. If you ain't got a milli, you best be going. Ring me on my phone, but there's nobody here. You can find me right at home, playing Gran Turismo. If you ask what I do, I'll tell you it's none of your business. And if you got a problem, I will knock you in the fizzer. Now meet me at the club, cause everyone going. Fresh meat at the club, and the drinks they be flowing. Gold chains, the ice be showing. If you ain't got a milli, you best be going. Meet me at the club, everyone going. Meet me at the club, the drinks they be flowing. Meet me at the club, everyone going. If you ain't got a milli, you best be going. Catch me on the flip side, whip you like a riptide. Yeah, I like my hips wide. Yeah, everywhere I look, I see ballers, popping the collars, hustling for dollars. Never see me losing, never catch me snoozing. In my Lambo cruising. No, I don't want no excuses. Give them some bruises, no one refuses. You better watch your back. We hustling. 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 Catch me on the flip side, whip you like a riptide. Yeah, I like my hips wide. Yeah, everywhere I look, I see ballers, popping the collars, hustling for dollars. Never see me losing, never catch me snoozing. In my Lambo cruising. No, I don't want no excuses. Give them some bruises, no one refuses. You better watch your back. We hustling. 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 Catch me on the flip side, whip you like a riptide. Yeah, I like my hips wide. Yeah, everywhere I look, I see ballers, popping the collars, hustling for dollars. Never see me losing, never catch me snoozing. In my Lambo cruising. No, I don't want no excuses. Give them some bruises, no one refuses.
I get hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock. I get hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock. Day by day, used to push it to the spot. Nowadays, I just stay and watch me mob. I get hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock. I get hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock. hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock. Day by day. Used to push it to the spot. Nowadays I just stay and watch me mob. I get hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock. I get hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock. Day by day, used to push it to the spot. Nowadays I just stay and watch me mob. I get hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock. I get hundreds just hit top. Got me looking like a rock.
Guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly. These brothers might ride or die.
Guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly. These boys might ride or die.
Unless you heard it from me, got it from me, then you ain't heard it from me. All the energy. Unless you heard it from me, got it from me, then you ain't heard it from me. All the energy. Guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly. These brothers might ride or die.
Guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly. These boys might ride or die.
Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? I gotta do what I do. I'm really here on my ones now. I gotta do what I do. One instead of 4 3s or 2s. I gotta do what I do. I'm really here on my ones now. I gotta do what I do. One instead of 4 3s or 2s. Unless you heard it from me, got it from me, then you ain't heard it from me. All the energy. Unless you heard it from me, got it from me, then you ain't heard it from me. All the energy. Guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly. These brothers might ride or die.
Guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly. These boys might ride or die.
Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? I gotta do what I do. I'm really here on my ones now. I gotta do what I do. One instead of 4 3s or 2s. I gotta do what I do. I'm really here on my ones now. I gotta do what I do. One instead of 4 3s or 2s. Guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly. These brothers might ride or die.
Guys know that they fly, know that they ride or die. My guys know that they fly. These boys might ride or die. Today we hustle, but the night we play. the night we played. Today we hustle. Today we hustle, but the night we played. Today we hustle. Down in the car. One give it all. But they open heart. Let me see the jar. Today we hustle, but the night we played. Today we hustle. Today we hustle, but the night we played. Today we hustle.
Trying to be the baddest one. Bet the style, the loudest one. Bending all the rules in this game. Try not to tattle, bro. Tattle, bro. Or else I'll have to battle ya. Battle ya. Break your mind and rattle ya. And rattle ya. Checking off my calendars. So I be spitting live in the booth. I be getting high with my youth. And we just hitting miles in the coupe. We're just in the vibe with the crew. Trying to be the baddest one. Bet the style, the loudest one. Bending all the rules in this game. Try not to tattle, bro. Tattle, bro. Or else I'll have to battle ya. Battle ya. Break your mind and rattle ya. And rattle ya. Checking off my calendars. So I be spitting live in the booth. I be getting high with my youth. And we just hitting miles in the coupe. We're just in the vibe with the crew. Trying to be the baddest one. Bet the style, the loudest one. Bending all the rules in this game. Try not to tattle, bro. Tattle, bro. Or else I'll have to battle ya. Battle ya. Break your mind and rattle ya. And rattle ya. Checking off my calendars. So I be spitting live in the booth. I be getting high with my youth. And we just hitting miles in the coupe. We're just in the vibe with the crew.
Bag, bring it back. Do it clean. Smoke a sack, keep a mag. Sippin' lean. Good chill, pop a bill. Make a scene. 50 racks, Sunday bands, up my jeans. Yeah. Yeah. Flip a bag, bring it back. Do it clean. Smoke a sack, keep a mag. Sippin' lean. Good chill, pop a pill. Make a scene. 50 racks, Sunday bands, up my jeans. Yeah.
Here we go. I'll do the countdown whenever he lets me know.
Hold on. Can you hold the alt button? Hold the
Alt?
alt button.
Gotcha.
Alright, you're there. You're on?
Oh, and we're on? Terrible countdown. What an awful countdown. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We were editing as we went. Matt is fixing his lights. We are here. Welcome to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As always, we are your hosts, Danny, Juice, and making his return tonight, the great Matt. How you doing, Matt? I don't even know. There we go. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are so glad you were able to join us because tonight's a tournament that we are very excited about because we are celebrating pretty much our 1 year. I know our 1 year was a couple of weeks ago, but we are celebrating our 1 year anniversary with the worst wrestler of all time. For anyone who wants to check old videos down there in the link tree, check some of our YouTubes and stuff. Our first ever episode was the greatest of all time. So Juice really was the one who came up with the idea, but we all loved it that our 1 year anniversary should be the worst wrestler of all time. So that's where we're at right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, can't hear Juice or Matt on the stream. All right, we're going to fix that, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you at home. A little technical difficulty. Apparently, we cannot hear Juice or Matt on the stream. Our producer is working on it as we go. So for those of you who missed what they said, because they're not going to repeat it, Mash was just saying how he's been away with pop, being a pop for a while, and it's the worst, but we're doing the worst wrestler of all time tonight. Juice was saying how excited he was before he got cut off. So I'll let you know when I think you're good to go. We are working on it as we go. We have a new layout tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so that is also what is playing a little bit of a role in our technical difficulties. We were trying to do something nice for our 1 year. I think we are working on it right now.
We got new tunnels. Who's going to come out of the heel tunnel?
We got new tunnels. Oh, I think. Yeah, I think so. There they are. There we go, guys. Go ahead.
We got a new stage. We got Elton John theme song. Going to lead us into the segments.
Talk about the worst.
This start was the worst.
That's the worst start.
It was.
Glad I could be a part of it.
It was Figment's Nightmare said this is terrible. Danny's voice is just awful. I mean, if you think this is terrible, wait till later on. You're gonna be very upset tonight. All right, so let's get started. It's time to unveil the first matchup of the worst wrestler of all time. Producer, if you can unveil the first matchup.
So are we going to do a little ground rules quick?
Thank you, Matt.
Hey, I'm keeping up with the worst segment of all time. Worst host. Hold on. Who did everyone's sound cut out or just Juice again? I'm gonna assume it looks like I couldn't hear Juice. Can you hear Matt? Matt, talk really quick.
No, it's gonna be the same source that's missing. 1 second.
I don't know. It's for some reason something with the source right now keeps knocking out.
Try now.
Try now?
No.
Try now?
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Okay. Worst day. I think you guys are on. Can you hear them?
Well, it's only
There we
fake.
go. All right, go ahead. So, Juice, if you
All right.
redo the ground rules, I apologize.
That's okay. So basically, in the past, we usually have a set way we seeded them, we ranked them. They were on teams amongst the three of us. This time, worst wrestler tournament, none of that. It is just we each made a list of I think 40 each.
Yes, sir.
Didn't rank them. Didn't put them on teams. They're not seeded in any certain way. So it's a free for all. All 64 names in the tournament are randomly entered into the bracket. Anybody can be facing anybody at any time. No rhyme or reason why they're facing who they're facing when. And yeah, some of the names on this list were on all three of our lists. Some of them were on two of the three. And some of them, I think a good portion of the field is actually only one of us like put them on the list. So yeah, and the way we're going to do it's going to be 2 out of 3 voting. All three of us get one veto to use in the first 2 rounds. We don't have to use it. If we do use it, if we don't use it, it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And then those of you watching at home, if you're new here to the show, if you do gift a sub or you subscribe to us during the stream, you get a veto to use in the stream. So you get to use it, and it has to be used tonight in this round in particular.
Yes.
And you cannot, and we cannot veto a veto. So once a veto is done, that's it.
We will give everyone at home a 5-second countdown. We'll do a little drum roll to give you 5 seconds if someone did do a sub. Otherwise, we'll just do our veto and then move on, or not veto.
Yeah.
Move on.
And obviously, if you veto earlier in the night, I mean, if you sub earlier in the stream here tonight, you get more opportunities to veto matchups.
Yes.
Whereas if you wait till later, you get lesser opportunities. And also, just a upfront heads up, tonight is only the first round, which is, again, what we normally do. First round only tonight. Next week will be the rest of the tournament. We'll wrap it up.
And last thing, unless you guys have one more thing, is if you are subbing, if you have Amazon, if you have Amazon, you have a free sub to give. So if you go to gaming.amazon.com, please use your free sub for us. It costs you nothing, gives us some money, so we can try to do some more layouts and stuff. And you can use your sub for a veto tonight, where, again, you don't have to pay anything for it, which is totally dope. So get on that as quick as you can, because the faster you do it, like Juice said, the more opportunity you have to veto matchups. Everyone good?
Yeah, so I figured before we actually dive into the matchups, though, does anybody have any any thoughts they want to share in regards to how they put people on their list, any criteria?
So,
is there anybody maybe you regretted putting on, or?
I was going to say, looking at the list for everyone at home, there's a good mix of WCW, ECW, old school WWF, TNA. I mean, there's a little bit of everything on AEW. There's a little bit of everything on this list. So it's going to get pretty difficult to decide. I don't regret anyone I put on the list. I'm very glad after last week I was able to get Nails in there because he deserved it after watching that fucking match. So fuck Nails, and I'm glad he's here.
Oh. All right then. Matt, any particular thoughts or not really?
No, I mean, I had trouble at first, and then Juice said let the hate flow, and it just came out real quick.
Oh,
real quick. As we get to the people, I'll divulge more.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, good.
Now, just to clarify for the viewers, we're not voting for the best of the worst. This is the worst of the worst.
This is the one.
So the winner sucks more.
Yes.
Than the one he beat.
If you think they're better, you don't vote for them. That's what Matt's saying.
So when Sheamus wins, he really loses.
Exactly, because Sheamus is the worst wrestler.
There's no spinning that, right?
This isn't unbiased.
Oh.
This isn't biased.
Okay.
I'm sorry. This is purely unbiased.
See any
Sheamus is the worst. We'll find out if that holds true tonight.
Let's do this.
All right. So, hold on, Figures Nightmare. Sheamus wouldn't win this. Well, Sheamus is in this, so we're going to find out if he's going to win this.
Well, I was going to say, let's see if he's in this.
No. I had to let him know. Sheamus is here.
Fair enough.
Best of 10. Figment, he was the best of those 10. But I don't know if those other 9 are on the list, so we'll see.
All right. So, first matchup. already crazy. Solo Sikoa versus Ezekiel Jackson. What are we thinking first matchup of the night?
Oh man,
This is where it's tough for me.
Oh man, already.
Oh, this is where it's tough for me because Ezekiel was just such a waste of life. Like, Solo just better by default. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But is he? Because Ezekiel has an Intercontinental Championship. Ezekiel is involved. Ezekiel won matches. Just saying. Solo Sikoa doesn't seem to win matches. He's just he is just the tribal chief because he decided he was. That's all I'm saying.
He had the White Sox streak, right?
I think he actually beat the White Sox streak.
He did.
All right, so what are we voting here? What are you guys thinking?
So the Ezekiel Jackson thing, though, I wanted to bring up the Bryan Danielson little bullet point there. For those that don't know, so one time Ezekiel Jackson tried to big boy Danielson out of a chair on an airplane. Basically, like, you're in my seat, give me that seat.
Oh, that's right.
And Danielson wouldn't move, and then Regal got in Ezekiel Jackson's face and started talking shit, and literally said to him that man has more talent in his pinky than you do your entire body.
I do remember that story.
I mean, that's a hell of a shoot down for Ezekiel Jackson. But like,
and he was like triple Daniel size and everything.
Like,
you're off.
And there's Solo Sikoa, man. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
I got.
After losing to LA Knight 5 times in a row, you think he would scout him better.
Yeah.
Actually.
All right, so what are we thinking with this first round? First matchup in first round, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off.
Yeah.
I go.
I'm going to vote Solo Sikoa.
Okay.
I'm also going to vote Solo. I feel like he is in a spot that he doesn't really deserve to be in.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I was gonna vote for Solo, and then once I started telling my story again about Ezekiel Jackson with the pinky, I was like, wow, maybe he really does suck more. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Solo Sikoa moves on.
I feel like that could also apply to Solo, so that's fine by me.
Yeah.
All right, Solo Sikoa moving on. Matchup number 2. No one's subbed yet, so no waiting. Actually, yeah, no veto, right? No one wants to veto, I assume, from us?
No, not yet.
Cool. Matchup number 2, we got Grandmaster Sexay Brian Christopher versus Braun Strowman. I couldn't really think of anything significant, like one moment of Grandmaster Sexy to put on there. So, Matt, thank you for the fact of he was, in fact, not sexy, which I do agree. He was ugly as shit.
Wow.
And then Braun Strowman legitimately got beat up during a 4-way match with Brock Lesnar because he tried to, like, big dog Brock, and Brock beat the shit out of him. And then he also had that terrible angle where he won the tag team belts with Nicholas. That was awful.
So
what are we
I'm
thinking?
I'm gonna start this off. I'm gonna throw a flag on the play. This is the first entrant in the tournament where I don't agree with it. I mean, Grandmaster Sexay, like, he wasn't like a rock star or anything, but I don't think he was bad.
He
was
were
part of a tag team.
As wrestlers, they were bad. As a shtick, like, as, you know, their characters, they were hilarious. I loved Too Cool, but you can't say they were good wrestlers.
Yeah, but you can't say they were bad. I don't know. I didn't see it. This was one of the first ones where I was like, hang on. What?
If they're not good, what are they?
You could be average. Listen, we're talking worst of all time and then best of all time. Like, if you're just average in the middle, that's completely normal.
I guess. So then this is an easy vote for you, it sounds like.
Yes, I'm going with Braun Strowman. He fucking sucks. Easy pass.
Matt, any rebuttal for Grandmaster Sexay?
It was the worst of the 3.
Figment,
Clearly.
by the way, says mediocre. Just saying.
Wow. Yeah, mediocre, mid. That's okay.
He was responding to you when you said, if you're not the best, what are you then?
Oh, mediocre? Yeah, okay.
Outside of just like their dance, like, what did they do? Nothing. I don't know. He he got the opportunity because of his father. Like, he wouldn't have been on WWE without the King.
Who, like, didn't even like him for a while.
I don't know. Braun Strowman went a lot further. Maybe he was less talented, but at least he looks scary. My vote's for Grandmaster Sexay.
Ooh, all right, all right. First tiebreak of the night. I'm gonna go with Braun. I do think he's the worst wrestler of the two of them. At least Grandmaster Sexay, I remember could have some good cruiserweight matches with cruiserweight, Jesus, light heavyweight with what's his name? Oh Jesus, Michinoku, the Michinoku driver, all that Kentai guys, Funaki. They used to have those matches with like Scotty Tuati and all them. So at least he could go a little bit. Where Braun, I just hate everything Braun does. Everything Braun does. So Braun definitely my vote as well. Hey, I didn't vote in Brian Christopher. I was just making an argument for why
and
he's
just
on
to
the
put it out
list.
there for anybody watching in the chat, if you have access to your phone or keyboard, by all means, you can hit us up in chat. Let us know what you're thinking. If you know who you vote for, if it was in your shoes, and just in general, if you think we missed somebody or someone you haven't seen yet, who do you think is the worst male wrestler of all time? Like I said to Matt during when he was picking, let the hate flow through you in this chat. This is a hate-loving community tonight.
Tonight's
To an
all
extent.
about the hate.
To
I'm
an
gonna say
extent.
50. I think Juice is gonna throw a flag on 50% of my entrance anyway. So
Oh man, I can't
know.
wait for some of these
I don't know
that
about
you
50.
picked, man. Oh.
There's some. Either way. All right, Braun moves
So
on.
Freebird
Good.
says give it to Braun, which we just did, and he was always happy to see Brian Christopher even if he sucked. Figment's Nightmare said it's his time to shine once we said embrace the hate, so here we go. Matchup number 3, we have the Ultimate Warrior. Some things he's known for, if you remember the infamous poison bite scene where he was spitting up black blood. He was fired after SummerSlam 91 for demanding more money backstage because he thought he was a bigger star. Versus Bo Dallas, who's currently portraying Uncle Howdy. And for anyone who used to like him in NXT, you definitely believed in him back then.
Nope.
They did. Bo Dallas is worse right off the bat. Figment Nightmare is not holding back. I don't know if Bo Dallas is worse. Name me 2 moves besides the Gorilla Press Slam and the Big Splash that Ultimate Warrior could do.
rope shake.
Taking the ropes.
You both said the same thing at the same time.
It's a defensive maneuver.
I didn't watch much Bo Dallas, but Ultimate Warrior is notoriously terrible, but at least Warrior was a legacy and is an icon. That doesn't make him good.
I couldn't put Warrior on my list just for the reason that I was a huge Warrior fan growing up. So I'm gonna vote for Bo Dallas and let you guys fight it out.
Oof. Juice, what are you thinking?
Well, I didn't grow up with Ultimate Warrior, but from everything I saw, you know what? For his time, as much as he was bad, at least him being whatever he was enough. Whereas Jay DeFalco 7 says Bo Dallas is a charisma black hole.
Yes, first time chatter. Thank you for joining tonight, by the way, Jay.
Thank you very much. And I'm inclined to agree with the Bo Dallas side. I think he has nothing going for him, and he shouldn't even be in the business.
Oof.
Bo Dallas.
For the record, I would have gone Bo Dallas as well. I don't know if I was that harsh about it, but you're really embracing the hate tonight. I love it. That's what we're all about.
He's not good, man. He's not.
Embrace the hate. Ladies and gentlemen, just another reminder, some people new to the chat I saw coming in, if you do a sub tonight, you can veto any of these decisions as we go along. We're only 3 matchups into 32, so please, you have plenty of time to sub. And Freebird, you are correct. No one believed tonight. On to matchup number 4.
No, Freebird, someone's Bo leaving. Bo is leaving the tournament as the champ.
Got him. Actually, he's not leaving. He's advancing.
Now do they pro leave?
Not yet. No one's subbing. No one's done it yet.
Oh, no.
Man. Now do you pro leave? Jesus. All right, moving on. Next matchup, Ted DiBiase Jr., son of the $1 Million Man. A story that I don't know about that I can't wait to hear about. Cody Rhodes' fuck on me story. Before I even introduce his opponent, why don't you tell us about this story? I need to know.
Okay. So for those of you that do not know the Cody Rhodes fuck on me story, a few years ago, Cody told the story at one of the conventions with all the fans that he was involved in a 6-man tag involving Ted DiBiase Jr. on the other side. the shorter version of the story. You can watch the long one if you want. Shorter version. DiBiase did not kick out on a move that he was supposed to during a taped SmackDown match. So the match that was supposed to go like 15 minutes ended in like 4. And then Cody and Wade Barrett were gonna try and like do a whole different finish to like fix it. And by that point, half the people in the match said "fuck it," and they just left and like because like, everything got messed up. So then Cody goes backstage, sees Vince standing there with his headset off, ready to lose it on everybody. DiBiase comes running backstage like a bat out of hell, goes right to Vince McMahon, right in his face, and goes, "Where's that referee? He was trying to fuck on me," which like makes no sense. You know, when you think about it, like how it worded that way. He's basically just saying like the referee was in on it, trying to like fuck with him and just screwed him over.
That's hilarious.
Even though he just didn't kick out. So that's always been my little claim to shame for Ted DiBiase Jr.
That's so funny.
Cody Rhodes story.
Also,
But,
just for you guys,
I'll
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Go.
Oh, I was gonna say, just for you guys at home, because he's the first one that I've seen so far with like some controversy outside. We're gonna try to keep it to just wrestling tonight, so anything outside the wrestling world, we'll try not to bring in at our best.
We'll try,
but there are gonna be some that I know there's no shot we're not gonna be able to. But just putting that out there. Ted DiBiase's opponent, the Shockmaster, infamous for his debut of falling through a wall, but in researching, found out that he was actually 5-0. The latter half, he wasn't this version of the Shockmaster. He was like a construction work version of the Shockmaster. Mm-hmm. Just want to throw that out there. But legitimately one of the worst debuts in history of wrestling.
So I'm not the history buff like you guys, but Shockmaster, was that also Typhoon and Tugboat?
Yes.
When he moved over? It was.
Fred Ottoman, I believe his real name is.
That's the case. I gotta go DiBiase Jr. because his first half, before pre-Shockmaster, I think was a decent enough career to salvage that. To salvage that run through the wall.
Freebird was saying you gotta take Shockmaster. He was legendarily bad, and DiBiase was also bad, but not that bad. And Figment says gets a pass for having the helmet.
Yeah.
That was
I'm
the best helmet ever.
I'm up in the air on this one because, like, you know, I always was okay enough with DiBiase Jr. I never considered him that bad. The only thing I didn't like about it was that dumb clothesline move that he did, where everybody always turned around for him, and like no other wrestler that ever happened for. But that's not it. It's just a move.
I agree.
But yeah, and then even with Shockmaster, like I remember when someone said Shockmaster to me, my first thought was, yeah, but did he even wrestle? Like, and clearly he only was 5 matches. So, like, it's a gimmick rather than like a whole career.
That and all tough. The matches were like tag team, multi-man matches. He never had a one-on-one.
Yeah,
anymore.
It's a tough one for me.
Or at least not that I saw.
I'm gonna go. Do you want to go first, Dan? Or you want me to go?
I mean, I'm going to go Shockmaster. It's an easy one for me. I thought, as much as Ted DiBiase maybe doesn't have, like, as much charisma as I thought he could, I thought he could still, like, wrestle and go in the ring, and him and Cody Rhodes weren't a bad tag team. I like the whole Legacy versus DX rivalry that would happen. Whereas Shockmaster, I only remember the entrance or the debut, and he apparently 5-0, and none of them were, like, good matches enough for people to talk about.
Yeah, it's just weird for me because I feel like this is one of the rare occasions where we're only voting on like a gimmick versus a wrestler. But I'm gonna have to go with Shockmaster too. Like, I mean, yeah, yeah.
Cool. Shockmaster makes it through. Moving on to matchup number 5.
Please make note.
I already
Please
know
make note that my co-hosts support felons. Thank you.
I already know where matchup number 5 is going with Juice, but let's take a shot at this one. We have Conan, all right, who was blocked by Juicebox on Twitter, and he was also shanked by Low-Key in AAA in a angle, which was terrible. I read about it and looked at it. It was awful. And he is facing Jonathan Coachman. If anyone remembers, he actually had a commentary feud. Him and Al Snow versus Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross. They had a pay-per-view match. It was terrible, if you can imagine. And he was consistently, literally, the butt of DX's jokes. Constantly pants, constantly shoved in asses. It was pretty bad. and he had a
Okay.
lot of matches.
I need to step in and correct you first. Something you said. You said blocked by
Sorry,
Juicebox on
blocked
Twitter.
Juicebox on Twitter. I apologize. Sorry.
It's important distinction.
You're
He
right.
blocked me.
You're right.
He's a little bitch ass
He's
bitch.
a little bitch
And
ass bitch. Let the hate flow.
I'm a Conan. Conan
No
all
way.
day, every day.
No way.
And yes, way. Coachman, listen,
I'm being sarcastic.
you guys have your thoughts on it. I'm sure chat will too, but Coachman is one of many names that are going to come up in this list that I don't think should be in here because they're not a wrestler. Yes, they wrestled, but I don't count them in the worst wrestler conversation personally.
That's fair.
Conan, you guys can talk out.
Matt, what's your opinion on that?
Oh, can't say I've seen either of them wrestle, so I had no idea Coachman even had a match, to be honest.
That is
He
I
had
can't
a few.
imagine it being any good.
He probably only had a few like Shockmaster, honestly. I didn't look how many, but
Coachman had a lot of matches. Coachman almost wrestled like weekly at one point. That's what I'm saying. Like, I put him on the list because he wrestled a lot. He had some pay-per-view matches. He was wrestling DX. He had some random one-on-one matches on Raw sometimes. Like, he was thrown to the wolves by the Authority. Like, Coachman wrestled.
I'll vote for Coachman.
he had 33 matches.
See, that's not
33
nothing.
matches?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's not nothing. That's more than
More than
Shockmaster.
Conan.
No, Conan had a career. So it's funny. I liked Conan when I was a kid because because he was part of the NWO, not because he was Conan. And then once I learned more about him, I hated him. I'm gonna vote Conan. I really don't like him, and I think he should be definitely in the conversation for worst wrestler. Freebird says, "Welcome back, Matt."
Yeet.
And he also thought NWO Black and Red was trash. Interesting. All right, matchup number 6. We got Eric Rowan, who used to be a Bludgeon Brother, current member of the Wyatt Six. Loved his little pet spider, if you guys remember that angle on SmackDown. Thank you, Juice, for reminding me about that.
Oh, I remember.
Versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who, if anyone ever listened to this segment, Bobby Heenan said that Marty Jannetty tried to run away by jumping through the window, so he allowed Marty Jannetty to jump through the window, which is pretty ridiculous in my opinion. In WCW, he portrayed the Butcher, the Zodiac, and the Booty Man in NWO. So very notorious gimmicks. I'm sure you guys remember them very well.
He's got it in his name.
What'd
He's
you
got
say?
it in his name, though. He has it in his name, the Booty Man.
The
My
Booty
votes are
Booty.
the Booty Man. Brutus. Straight booty.
So what are you guys thinking? Where are we going with this? One active,
I think
one
Matt just gave his vote, I think.
the Booty Man? You're voting for the Booty Man?
Mhm.
All right.
So I have a question before you place your vote, and I mean this in all honesty because I never remember or saw enough. Was Bruce the Barber Beefcake really that bad? Because all I really remember was that he was Hogan's bitch.
I'm going to put it this way. He trained with Hogan.
He was very
and he
limited.
wasn't as good as Hogan.
Oof. Oh, game changer.
That's the best way for me to put it.
I'm gonna have to go with the
You know,
worst wrestler. I'm gonna have to go with the worst wrestler I know, and that's Eric Rowan. Between the two,
Oof.
yeah, terrible.
I too am gonna have to go with the worst wrestler I know between the two, and that is definitely Brutus the Barber Beefcake for sure. All right.
You know what though? I should have made this counter argument sooner, but Brutus the Barber Beefcakes didn't lose to The Rock at WrestleMania in 6 seconds. But I digress.
That's fair, but I mean, that's a hard argument if you're gonna use that. We can use that on a lot of good wrestlers then. Training. Oh my God. Figment said training with the greatest technical wrestler of all time is a negative. Yes it is, and you'll find out why later. Matchup number 7, we have David Flair, the infamous pregnancy angle with Stacey Keibler. We talked about this a while back on a couple episodes. He also shaved his daddy's hair when he joined up with Vince Russo in an angle later on in the WCW dying days. And he faces Danhausen, who according to Matt is a glorified Ronald McDonald wrestling technician or just a pointing expert. I don't know.
I'd like to defer to Matt here to go first and speak his case on Danhausen because I know he doesn't like
agree.
Danhausen, but I want to hear
Why?
more details on this. Yeah.
I mean, I was about to go scorched earth on Danhausen, but look at this matchup he just drew. This is insane.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the matchup. Just literally because of this. I was like, man, this was one of the names that you put on your list. I was like, God damn it, Matt. Why are you trying to upset
I mean,
me?
what does Danhausen really do? What does he do? He stands there. He barely wrestles. He's probably wrestled less matches than Jonathan Coachman.
Oh my god. Freebird wrote, hold on, before you guys catch the wrote, Freebird wrote that Nepo bullshit. I forgot David Flair was a thing until just now, and now my night is ruined. Thank you. That's what we do tonight on the worst wrestler of all night.
We can do.
Embrace the hate, Freebird. Square Spectrum, you are not too late. Sheamus has not been up yet. We're only in matchup, number 7, so plenty of time to see him. No worries. David Flair right to the bottom, says Freebird. So what are you guys thinking? David Flair, Danhausen, what are some thoughts?
I'm going David Flair. Danhausen shouldn't be on this list. I know you don't like him, but I respectfully disagree on that one.
I vote for David Flair.
I vote for David Flair. Good, it's a clean sweep. I thought I was going to have to use my veto on Danhausen. All right. Thank God.
Hey, do you see mine? Do you see my worst wrestler shirt I have?
Did we put him on the list?
We'll find out later.
By the way, at some point, you gotta tell us the ones that you didn't put on that you hated. This is a hard matchup for me. Matchup number 8. We have Giant Gonzalez versus James Ellsworth. How are we feeling?
You know what's crazy? This match would actually probably be like half a shit show, enough to be fun.
Would have booked it.
Vince would have like in real life.
I don't know because Giant Gonzalez was like James Ellsworth might have made it fun. I don't know if Giant Gonzalez could have done anything. I hate.
Oh
Giant
man.
Gonzalez.
Oh man.
This is an easy one for me. Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
As bad as Ellsworth is, Giant Gonzalez.
Awful. He was the worst. Legitimately, like the worst WrestleMania match I can ever think of. The bodysuit is terrible. I hate him.
All right. I probably was going to go Ellsworth just because I am more familiar with him, so the hatred is more live in my body.
Interesting.
But yeah, I can respect Gonzalez. Listen, I mean, there's very few on here I don't agree with, but that one, okay.
Sweet. All right. Matchup number 9. Bodysuit is great. Everything else is awful. You would like the bodysuit, you potato. So.
And then Jay DeFalco then says Ellsworth almost died not knowing how to take a Styles class.
Oh my God, that's right. That was so
anybody want to change their votes?
No, it still wasn't worse than that WrestleMania 9 match. Oh my God. All right, matchup number 9. This one, I think, hold on, you guys cast your vote first before I say what I'm about to say.
And these are all, it's funny.
Yeah, sorry. So let me introduce him. I just got so mad about it. Jinder Mahal dropped the WWE belt to Styles right before Survivor Series when he was going to have the big champion versus champion match that everyone was like judging WWE hardcore for, and really a lot of people say is the worst WWE champion of all time. Maybe, I don't know. Abdullah the Butcher, scumbag, infected a wrestler during the match. Anyone who saw Dark Side of the Ring can see that. And he got, if anyone remembers that terrible match, you can see clips of it. They had like a cage match with an electric chair in the middle in WCW. And the point was to get someone in the chair to electrify them. They got him in the chair, and as Cactus Jack was climbing the cage, the switch fell. And it wasn't like getting electrified, so he had to climb the cage, push the switch back up, and then pull it back down to like end the match. It was awful. It was so bad. But yeah, that was an infamous moment Abdullah the Butcher was part of. Jay DeFalco, was saying he couldn't tuck his chin because he didn't have one. Ha. Good one on James Ellsworth. And then Freebird wrote, Jinder was the worst, but Great Khali was worse than that. He might not even be on here, man. We're talking about Jinder and Abdullah. Freebird, stick to what you see. Unless you're hating Sheamus, then by all means, whenever you want. What are we thinking?
All right. I'll start. This might be a little bit of a cop out, but I honestly don't consider like deathmatch wrestling, like all that fucking like the extreme like backyard kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not all that Abdullah did. I know he did a lot of other stuff like that wasn't that, but I just like I consider him less than wrestling, if that makes sense. He's a shit person, but in terms of like the worst wrestler, I gotta go with Jinder. He's nothing but just the cheap heat. Like they're not even booing him ironically anymore. It's just nothing about it. Worst WWE champion of all time,
Interesting.
hands down.
All right.
Jinder Mahal.
Matt, what do you think?
I'll say quick. I just watched the Dark Side of the Ring on Abdullah the Butcher, and that first bullet, I'd like to say, allegedly infected a wrestler. Not. He never showed up to court. He never showed up, so
No proof.
we don't know.
No one ever proved it.
With that said,
damn.
since we support felons on this podcast, I will vote for Jinder Mahal.
All right. And you know what's funny? I really thought you guys were going to vote for Abdullah, and I said that Jinder got a lucky draw, and I was very wrong.
No.
I was going to vote for Abdullah the Butcher. Keverlast, in response to Freebird, though, says that Khali is a legend just from his movie role in The Longest Yard, and that's something I haven't considered because it's not part of wrestling, but that might be something I consider later. So, matchup number 10.
I'll play.
We have, I'm mad about this one because I think they both should make it through to the next round. But we have Garrett Bischoff, who is a member of Aces and Eights, and Eric Bischoff's son, speaking of nepotism, Freebird, versus Ryback, who entered CM Punk. CM Punk has gone on record very much about that. And Twitter illegally suppressed by WWE for 8 years. If Freebird, you can go a little more into detail about that.
I was waiting for Freebird. I knew when this matchup popped up, Freebird was going to stand up and be like, "Yeah, no, he's not ready." Oh man. So Matt, just for you, because I know you don't know Garrett Bischoff that well, but like,
didn't even know Bischoff had a son.
He was in TNA, involved in the Aces and Eights story, and he was always the channel changer for me, or the fast forwarder.
Mm-hmm.
Like he never existed in my TNA timeline. He was so bad. And I just saw him and would just be like, nope, and just fast forward, skip ahead, skip. It's just terrible.
That's so funny.
Awful. And I'd seen enough to make that judgment. Because I know you're thinking, oh, if you fast forwarded everything, how would you know that? But
didn't think that at all. We all understood.
That's not what I was thinking.
That being said, I mean, Ryback is awful. He is overrated. He is a poor man's Goldberg. And has an ego that can fill 15 Triple H's.
Wow.
My vote is for Ryback.
Keverlast agrees with you. He says, fuck Ryback, put him through. Freebird also agrees with you and says, but Garrett never hurt anyone and Ryback hurt everyone and had a push that more talented wrestlers needed.
Terrible.
Beat him more.
Ryback.
Keep feeding him.
Audience agrees with you, Juice. Matt, what do you think?
Feed me more. Give me Ryback.
Ryback making it through clean sweep. I was going to vote for Ryback as well. All right.
Good.
Next one on matchup number 11, we have No Way Jose versus Scott Steiner. No Way Jose, all dance, no gimmick, some say. If you remember that Royal Rumble elimination where he just congaed to the ring, got eliminated, and then congaed to the fucking back, it was ridiculous. And then Scott Steiner, obviously infamous for his Steiner math. Everyone loved it. And then, for anyone who doesn't remember, would only agree to get drug tested in the WWE if they drug tested Triple H at the same time, and neither one got drug tested. So that was a fun time for both of them.
I just want everybody that's in the chat and everybody here just to keep remembering when these matchups pop up. Like, actually imagine these matchups happening in real life.
Good.
Like, that's the best part for me, just imagining them aside the ring, ready to go.
This
It's
would be
amazing.
a fun matchup because I could just see Scott Steiner in the ring and then the Conga coming out, him being pissed about them and just beating up some of the Conga line as they come out.
Oh, man. All right, I'll let one of you guys go first this time.
Hey, Keverlast loves this one. This is a great matchup. I'll go first on this one. I feel like I haven't gone first in a while. So, No Way Jose, Scott Steiner, as much as everyone like shits on Steiner, I don't think he was a bad wrestler. Maybe later in the career, but like his whole career, I don't think he was a bad wrestler. I liked a lot of his matches. Good tag team wrestler. A little stiff in the ring, but a lot of those guys were back then. Whereas No Way Jose, like, I don't really remember a great match. He had one good feud in NXT, if I remember correctly. I think one, but his whole shtick was just him dancing. They didn't really let him get started. He looked like he could have been great, but like I didn't see it, so I'm gonna vote for No Way Jose.
Wow, way to be ageist.
Way to be eight. I don't know what that means,
Like you
I
hate
don't
old
know what
people.
that means either.
but I didn't vote for Scott Steiner.
You're ageist.
What?
I don't know. That's
Anyway,
Danny,
moving on.
even to your point, Danny, like Steiner was stiff in the ring towards the end of his career. When he was young, he was good. He was a high flyer, kind of. Like he was very good, I thought.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why he's on here.
So I would love to put Steiner through for the name, but I think Jose was worse. So vote Jose.
I'm gonna have to assume, Juice, you put Steiner on your list.
You know, it's funny. I mean, I have to go back and look because, like, I remember when I first made it, he was one of the names where I was like, am I being too mean? Because, like, I don't like him at all. But I think my mindset was, you know what, though? He is entertaining, like, with his whole, like, mic work and just him being nuts. I feel like maybe I left him off and then maybe added him on later. I don't remember. Either way, my opinion doesn't really matter here, but I probably would have gone with Noah Jose.
Steiner Rose used to spike dudes on their necks for fun. That might be true. I think I do remember hearing
That
stories
was
about
Solo Sikoa. You're thinking of Solo
You know what?
Sikoa.
You know what? I changed my vote. I vote for Scott Steiner.
Just based on that last comment.
Yeah.
Well,
Good call.
it doesn't change who
Falcons
passes
here,
through,
keep us
but
in check.
that's good. All right, matchup number 12. This one, I'd be surprised if Matt knows either one of them, to be honest with you. We have Tyler Rex versus Kurgan. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out.
Fighting words. Kurgan was part of the Odyssey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oddities, you mean?
Fuck you.
Oddities.
Whatever their names are.
Oddities Jones.
Wouldn't they do
So,
this? They would come out like this?
Yes. Tyler Rex, X Factor wild card in NXT versus Kurgan, who was a serious Truth Commission to joke act with oddities. He had a very strange run in the Attitude Era. He was a giant man, though.
He was in Superman 3, right?
He was in a movie. I don't know which one. Not Superman 3, you bastard.
So
Fell for it.
I need to be honest here
All right.
because I haven't been this whole time, right? But
Really embrace the hate. I don't know if you have.
Tyler Rex, legit in my mind, is like the Cinderella story here, and I think they're the X Factor. They're the wild card in this tournament that could win the whole damn thing. I know everyone's thinking about their top tier like names, but like name recognition, who's the worst? But this guy is really, really bad.
He was bad.
And his only thing for like 3 years on SmackDown was that he was always the wild card in like a multi-man match. He was always the X Factor, the one that could like, they can make a difference. They could change the tide of the match. And then they were always the first one eliminated without eliminating anybody. It was the best because he sucked.
That's hilarious.
So bad. I'm Tyler Rex. I think he can win the whole damn thing, but you guys don't know him. It's a shame. True X Factor.
Unfortunately, I'm just gonna, like you said, I don't know him. I'm gonna go with who I do know, and Kurgan wasn't good. I don't like. He was funny a little bit with the oddities, but I think that was more the oddities than Kurgan. And even when he was with Don Callis with the Jackal and stuff and Truth Commission, I don't remember him being that good there. I think he was just another big man that like they were just using for the act. So I'm gonna go with Kurgan.
No, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to trust Juice. I have no idea who Tyler Rex is.
I'm gonna trust you.
He says he could win it all. Tyler Rex, put him through.
So
Let's go!
So your job then, this week before round 2, is to at least look up one Tyler Rex match, Sal, so you can.
Good luck finding it.
So you could. If you can find it, you have to watch one match just so you can have an opinion for the second round. Because I'm going to do the same thing. Because if he can win the whole tournament, I need to make an educated vote next round then. So,
Okay.
All right. Just putting that out there. All right, matchup number 13. Oh, Jesus. We have Vampiro That Human Torch match versus Sting, everyone remembers it. If you watch it, it was terrible. And if you didn't watch WCW, they used to do the Bloodbath with the New Blood and Vampiro. They used to notoriously have terrible aim. They would always miss people. It was embarrassing. There's one great skit where they were talking to Kevin Nash, and Kevin Nash is in the middle of the ring, and the blood just starts pouring, and he looks to the left, like, staring at it, and had to take a step just to get a little wet, just to, like, finish the fucking scene. It was crazy. He is facing Lex Luger. Everyone, I will always bring it up, the SummerSlam disqualification celebration, where they hoisted him on his shoulders like he won the belt, and he won nothing, and it was ridiculous. And he was also known as the narcissist before this whole red, white, and blue bull crap, which I think was his best shtick, personally, because he didn't talk that much, and that was his best work. Freebird says Lex wasn't that bad. I don't know, Freebird. Figment's Nightmare says Lex Luger is a vascular man, gets through on that alone. So Freebird, just so we're clear, you are on the same page as Figment's Nightmare, so you can think about that. Back to you, gentlemen. What are we thinking, Lex Luger or Vampiro?
I don't know much about Vampiro. Sounds like he doesn't have the Gangrel aim with the blood, which is tough.
He does not.
I had Luger on my list. I'm gonna stick with Luger. I didn't think he'd brought much to the table.
All right.
I'm going to support the 2024 Sharpshooters Hall of Fame inductee, and I'm going to vote for Vampiro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's something we have to discuss off camera. I don't know what Juice is talking about.
You don't remember our Hall of Fame?
Hey, you don't remember that?
I don't. Oh,
Hall of Fame draft
yes.
drafted Luger.
Yes, you are correct. I forgot about that.
If you want to see our draft Hall of Fame draft episode, look down in the link below. You can watch on YouTube after this episode.
That was a good
All
episode.
our episodes are there.
Oh, then you picked.
Juice got a lot of hate for that.
I forgot about the first two picks. You're right. Juice's first two picks alone. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just go back and watch Juice's first two picks alone on that draft. That'll be worth anything else.
It's great.
So on the tiebreaker between Vampiro and Lex Luger, I hate them both. I truly do.
Good.
I'm going to go with Vampiro, though. Vampiro, I think, was the worst wrestler of the two of them. I hated his stuff in WCW. So Vampiro makes it on through. Matchup number 14.
Oh, God.
I forgot about this matchup. Oh, my God. This might be the hardest matchup of the night for some of them. Not for me, but for some of you. Dominic Mysterio. All right. Either legit booze or pumped in. We don't know. For the record, he did debut 19 years ago. He's one of the oldest tenured superstars on the roster. Just want to put that out there. Versus Lars Sullivan. Now, Lars Sullivan is the first one we're going to break our rule about, because Lars Sullivan didn't have any standout bad wrestling moment. All his standout moments were behind the scenes, on Twitter, years ago, everything he posted. You can't talk about Lars Sullivan without talking about what a scumbag piece of crap he is to people outside in the world. I don't know what else to do. It's so strange. His whole tenure was so strange, man. Because they kept giving him shot after shot, and he kept harassing other people, and then they would give him another shot. It was so weird to me.
Didn't he go on hiatus when he first got called up? He had a mental breakdown or something.
Yeah, he was supposed to have a huge match with John Cena, and then couldn't handle it.
Yep.
I remember that.
Oh man.
Ugh.
Yeah, Kev Last is in agreement with us. Yo, Lars, rip, he said. I personally don't think Dom is that bad. So I've been a Dom supporter for a while now. No problem saying it. I think Dom is good. I think he's going to be a really big star in the future. I'm going with Lars Sullivan. I never liked him. Just forget his off screen stuff. On screen, he just never did it for me. He was never this big scary guy that they pushed him. His look was always so strange to me. I never liked him. I never got him.
Matt, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go?
Fuck Dominic Mysterio. That's my pick.
Okay. All right, then.
Oh man.
All's on me. Oh, wait, don't think I didn't catch that debut 19 years ago, crap, man. He hasn't been around that long. Shut
I
your mouth.
said, what do you mean you didn't catch it?
Um,
I literally said it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Don't think we didn't catch it. Like you said it. I heard you. 19 years, my ass. I'm gonna have to go with Lars.
Oh, thank God.
I have to support the #1 Rey Mysterio podcast here on Twitch, and what better way to support the Mysterios than to not let Dom go through?
We
Lars
couldn't
Sullivan.
disrespect the Mysterio name twice.
I mean, we might
Twice.
later.
What? Matchup
We
number
might later.
15. We have another crazy matchup, in my opinion. Now, this one, based on what Juice said before, not a matchup Juice likes. But we do have Brad Maddox versus Mr. McMahon. Brad Maddox went from crooked referee to pointless GM to wrestler to fired. McMahon obviously owned WWE, but had multiple matches. Former WWE champion, former ECW champion. Famous match where him and Shane tagged against HBK and God at Backlash. Like, you know, Vince McMahon, in my opinion, definitely a wrestler. Brad Maddox, I guess. But what do you got? What are we thinking?
I go first.
Go, of course.
I'd like to go first. Thank you. So in this case, I do consider Mr. McMahon a wrestler. He's wrestled enough in his career that it didn't feel like it was like a short stint, and that he wasn't like he didn't know what he was doing out there. Like, he gave us training montages of this guy, man, in headquarters, jacking up for the Rumble. Iconic stuff. Won it from #1. Who could forget? Or #2. Same thing, right, Matt?
Exactly.
Brad Maddox, I barely even remember him. I think he came on like right around the end of my like time watching.
Oh, he
I know he
came
was
on
involved
something.
with Vicky and doing the GM stuff, kind of. And then I remember he like was banging like Paige and Xavier Woods or something, sex tape, and got caught.
Big three-way match.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yep.
Came on
Super Goon
Page.
came
Thank
on
you, Super
Page.
Goon. Yeah, he knows what's up. So he's with me. I'm going with McMahon. I think he's worse.
All right. Matt? Super Goon, by the way, thank you. Great first time chat posts. I agree. Love it.
Came on Page.
McMahon was so wholesome, super talented, said Stickman's Night.
I think McMahon always surprised me with his physique. He was all in, loved it. Brad Maddox, waste of time, waste of moment.
How
Putting
did
for Maddox?
This is crazy. Between you and then Super Goon, anyone who's wholesome compared to Maddox, Maddox did nothing wrong. Maddox was just enjoying his life.
Freebird, Maddox didn't build it by steroids. I don't know what Maddox did.
We got some controversy in the chat. I don't know.
The chat's really firing off on each other. I love it. I'm going to go with Mr. McMahon. I don't think Mr. McMahon ever had a really good match. But from his own thing, he was able to sell very well, but like McMahon couldn't really do like moves. Let's be honest here. So I don't think McMahon was like a great wrestler. What'd you say?
He only did hardcore shit, and I didn't even bring it up, but like he had, in my opinion, still the worst match in WrestleMania history versus Bret Hart.
Yes.
It was awful.
Awful.
So easy to move him.
Hold on. Chat's going off. So Freebird said his physique was built on steroids. Super Goon said on company time. Figment's Nightmare never saw a steroid he didn't take. Guy tore his quad just getting in the ring. Not even wrestling. Come on, says Keverlass. Yes, I agree.
That's why he moved on.
Mr. McMahon has already moved on. All right.
We're good.
Last matchup of the first side of the bracket. So our first 16 matchups. Last one of that first side, we have Omos versus Nails. This is a good matchup. For anyone who's seen either one of them, they are kind of both the same wrestler.
No chance.
They both really don't do a lot. They don't move that much. For anyone who missed last week's episode, which you could watch in the link tree below, Nails, I I had to put it on the list because Juice made me watch the 1992 SummerSlam Classic, Nails versus Virgil, which was 7 minutes of Nails just choking Virgil, which now thinking about it, might have been racially motivated. I don't know. But just literally choking the man for 7 minutes, maybe did a clothesline, and that was the only other move he did. So I cannot let that man not be on this list. And Omos lost to Otis in a Philly cheesesteak eating contest. I believe that was probably on a Raw, I'm going to assume. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't remember that. Nails string Vince in his office. What happened?
It was on YouTube. It was on YouTube the week of WrestleMania. I watched it because I can't help myself.
All right, so where are we going with this? What are you guys thinking? Anyone at home, by the way, let us know what you guys think about these two matchups, because this is a crazy one. This is a weird one. Bromos, is that your pick?
Bromos.
I'll
go first. I'm going with Omos. Yeah, just another dime a dozen big guy thrown out there. Like, can't even do anything. And I think a few weeks ago I read like WWE's like giving up on him, like they moved on from him.
Finally,
so, I mean,
Jesus. Well, I mean,
that just goes to show you
he's not there. That just goes to show you
he was a Vince. He was a Vince guy, and now like he's done. He's awful. Man, get him out of here.
Matt,
swayed me with that match of 7 minutes of choking. I gotta stick with Omos.
Ooh, almost right. I was gonna pick Nails, so if you had picked Nails, he would have went through. So Omos, almost, whatever.
It was almost Nails.
Where are my Homo sapiens at?
Omos making it through.
My homosexuals.
All right, going on. So that was our first 32. First 32 down to 16. Now we're going to the right side of the bracket, and we're starting off with a good one. Speaking of the 1992 SummerSlam Classic, Nails' opponent, Virgil, is facing Goldberg in our first matchup of the next bracket. We have matchup number 17. Goldberg, for anyone who remembers, Goldberg's streak was ended by a taser. He also ended Bret Hart's career because he kicked him when he wasn't supposed to, or stiff kicked him when like Bret Hart told him not to, and that was Bret Hart's career after that. Virgil was the servant of Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and then after that he tried to have a WWF push, which failed miserably. So what are we thinking? These are two pretty bad wrestlers. I will say, being unbiased, Goldberg definitely had a legendary career. Everyone knows Goldberg's name. Most people don't care about Virgil. Virgil spent the latter half of his life just trying to pay people to take pictures of him, pretty much. So I don't know what you guys are thinking. Oh, the chat is going off. Figment's Nightmare said Goldberg has to go through. Goldberg sucked, but fuck Virgil. Goldberg. I think the chat has spoken, guys.
My vote's for Goldberg.
Goldberg was trash, massive ego, minimal talent, had the crowd always, but Regal exposed him as a bad wrestler, which, thank you, Jay DeFalco 7. That was the other bad match we actually made them watch last week, Goldberg versus William Regal. That was the first time Juice watched that. That was hilarious for him to watch as well. Only Goldberg can knock out Goldberg, says Killer Tomato. Goldberg, if it wasn't mentioned, and that Regal match was amazing, says Figment Nightmare. All right, so Goldberg by Juice. Matt, your vote? Goldberg. Yeah, I don't think we could have said anyone besides Goldberg, according to the chat. So Goldberg,
who's next?
Making it on through. Damn, that was great. That chat went off so quick for that one. All right, next matchup. This is a weird one. The Boogeyman versus New Jack. So Boogeyman, anyone remembers that shtick? 8 worms and smashed clocks. That's all that man really did. And then that one SmackDown where he just ate the growth off Jillian Hall's face will always haunt me to this day. New Jack, infamous New Transit incident where he almost killed like a 17-year-old kid in the middle of the ring. That shit was crazy. And that was just one of very numerous incidents. He's broken people's leg, purposely thrown people over the targeted area to try to hurt them, tried to like kill some people in the ring. So New Jack was a pretty dangerous guy. just in general. Square Spectrum says yuck. I agree. I'm not sure which one you talked to. Definitely Boogeyman, but that could be applied to New Jack. And Freebird votes for Boogeyman right off the bat.
I go first for this one.
Of course.
Please.
Thank you. I'd like to go on the record that New Jack was not on my list. And if he comes back from the dead, I would like him to know that I don't think he should be on this tournament at all. Please don't kill me, New Jack. I'm terrified of him. My vote's for the Boogeyman.
You put that juju on me. Oh, man.
That was the greatest reason for a vote I've ever heard in my life.
He's dead, and I'm still scared of him. That's how scary he was.
Yeah.
That dark side of the ring of him
Mm-hmm.
scarred me for life. So,
Yeah, man. He was not a good person.
It's one vote for Boogeyman, Danny.
I'm gonna vote for New Jack. I mean, I know
your
you
funeral.
don't think death wrestling is wrestling, but a lot of people do consider wrestling. And as far as death wrestlers, he was also a trash one. So when you're the worst of the worst, I can't give you a pass. You got to go through the next round.
Yeah, I'm going Boogeyman. I mean, I don't really fear New Jack because he's 6 feet underground where he should be.
But you voted Boogeyman.
Yes, I'm voting Boogeyman because I don't fear New Jack.
Danny, Boogeyman only had a job because of his gimmick.
Yeah,
I feel like he went 10 years without going in the ring.
New Jack only had a job because they were scared to fire him because he was probably going to kill them.
Technically, he never really had a job. He was an independent wrestler, so I digress. Boogeyman moves on.
Jesus, Boogeyman moving on. All right, next matchup. We have... I forgot. We have Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan versus... I've never heard of this wrestler. I looked him up because of this tournament, and I'm so mad I looked him up. But we have Mahabali Shera. Did I pronounce the last name? Shera?
It's Mahabali Shera.
Mahabali Shera. All right. According to Juice Can't Dance, looked him up, had an awful match versus Rockstar Spud. Freebird said Shera right off the bat. Figures Nightmare says put Shera through, never heard of him, probably sucks. Hulk Hogan, as we all know, held down multiple wrestlers due to his career control, but he also was the final WWF champion before they changed to WWE in 2002. And first WWE champion. Who'd you vote, Sal? Sorry.
Said, what a fun nugget.
What a fun nugget. All right, so where are the votes going here? What are we thinking? Well, who put Hogan on the list?
I'll go. It is not time to get the F out just yet. Hulk Hogan moves on.
All right.
I just have no idea who this other guy is. Like, what am I voting on here?
All right, so he was in TNA like in the early 2010s, and he just came in as like a new hot young thing, and he just did this stupid dance where he like went around like he had no charisma besides doing his little stupid Bollywood dance.
Yeah, it was pretty.
And
bad.
Then they tried to get him over. He couldn't connect with the crowd even with the dancing.
I saw the dance. It wasn't a good one.
Yeah, and he quickly just faded away into like lower card obscurity, being a comedy act. And I think he's still trying to go today in like NWA, but yeah, he's not good, man. But
Matt,
Hogan is.
I'll help you out,
next
Matt.
level.
I'm gonna vote for Hulk Hogan. Don't worry about it.
Wow.
He sucks. So don't even worry about making this decision.
I vote for Shera.
There you go, buddy. No problem. Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Thanks so much. Can't even say his name right.
All right. This next matchup is my favorite matchup of the tournament. I'm not going to lie. Once I saw this, I thought it was fucking hilarious. I know Juice hates this one, but I thought this is just a great matchup in general. We have Michael Cole, undefeated at WrestleMania, stupid orange little singlet, versus David Arquette, former WCW champion, and then almost died in a death match trying to make up for his past in WCW with wrestling in a death match like 20 years later and almost dying.
Yeah, he tried to
awesome.
pull the glass out, right?
Yeah,
pull the glass out of his neck or something.
Yeah, and everyone was like freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. Triple
Freebird said,
Cage says Jay. How you go?
no, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying Jay DeFalco said Triple Cage, and we got Freebird saying Cole was a joke, but Arquette was serious. Do with that information what you will. And Super Goon says Cole.
What are we thinking, gentlemen?
I'm gonna let you two go first here because I don't approve of this matchup.
I don't approve this matchup.
Fun fact: David Arquette was also on the greatest of all time tournament.
That
He
is
was
true.
actually.
Oh, I
He
should
was
have
the
put that. I
wild
forgot
card.
about that.
He was the wild card in that match. Just for those of you that haven't watched before, we didn't vote him into it. He was put in by our producer.
As I say, none of the three of us picked David Arquette for the best of all time.
Yeah.
That was this guy
Yeah,
who's
not
on the
our
sideline over here who tried to mess with us, and it worked very well. Because once he said David Arquette, all of us were just like, maybe we shouldn't give him a wild card pick ever again. It was the first one ever. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Michael Cole. Again. I don't think I put anyone on this list that just had one match. He's had a few, at least 2 or 3. That's enough for me to be a wrestler, and he was a pretty bad one at that. So Michael Cole.
Voted Cole also. So Juice, don't worry about it. You can pass.
There you go, buddy.
All right, good. Well, for the record, if you did vote Arquette, I was gonna vote for Cole.
There you go.
Yeah,
No way.
since Arquette kind of got thrown into his thing unwillingly.
Yeah,
whereas
Arquette didn't
Cole,
want to do it. Poor guy.
Yeah. So my vote would have been Cole anyway. So good. Right person moves on.
And then the
All right.
anger of Juice continued.
All right.
All right. So another man who is on the greatest of all time list, who created his own controversy by being vetoed through. No, not vetoed through. Sorry, voted through. Voted through.
Right,
And I
rightfully so.
and I didn't want to use a veto because I was saving it in case they pulled another fast move for in round 2. He beat Rey Mysterio in an upset
Rightfully so.
in the first
Rightfully so.
round
Not an upset.
versus the Yeti, who, if anyone doesn't know the Yeti story, he was released from a big block of ice, and from that came a mummy, which I don't know how that happened. And in his debut, him and the Giant both bear-hugged Hulk Hogan unconscious, which means they literally just sandwiched him and hugged him till he passed out. So that is our matchup here. And we all know, at least we both know, that Sal, you have to start this off by letting us know why Nigel McGuinness is on this list.
This is a story of redemption, folks. This was needed because Nigel McGuinness, I've never seen wrestle. Love him as a commentator. Voted for him over Rey Mysterio. I will hands up. I was part of the voting because Dominic Mysterio just overtook my brain and it made me vote against Rey. That's how much I don't like Dominic.
It was
Mysterio.
It was very true. It was very true. The hate for Dom went through Rey. It was crazy.
Then I got to thinking how it could be kind of funny to see Nigel McGuinness make a run in the worst tournament after defeating Rey Mysterio in the best. So, seeing that Yeti came from a big block of ice, that's enough for me. Nigel McGuinness is my vote here. It's stupid. What do you have? Purple hair when he wrestled?
I'm gonna get you, Super Goon, for that posture check bullshit.
Thank you, Super Goon, for the
Yeah,
posture check.
son
Good
of
call.
a
Good
bitch.
call.
I'm
He
like,
did
is
not
that
have
to me?
purple hair. He had the bleach spiked hair, not the frosted tips, and they're like actually like spiked.
It's part of
Headbutting.
NSYNC.
Yeah, sure.
So you're sticking with Nigel McGuinness as your vote?
Yes.
All right. Juice, do I even have to ask?
Yeti.
The Yeti. Just making sure. Just wanted to make that for the record. So Super Goon also says the Yeti in the chat. So respectfully, I gotta go with the Yeti. I don't think Nigel McGuinness is a bad wrestler at all, and the Yeti was just another terrible WCW brainchild. So I'm gonna go for the Yeti.
Y'all gotta get educated, man. I wonder where he is. I wonder where he is. Is he
It
in
doesn't
this?
matter where he is because Nigel McGuinness has just been vetoed into round 2 over the Yeti. Matt has used his veto, so therefore Matt no longer has a veto, and only myself and Juice have one left for the rest of round 1 and some of round 2. And if anyone wants to, I just keep looking at Juice in the camera. If anyone wants to gift a sub or sub themselves, they can also have a veto in the first 2 rounds. We still have about 10 matchups left in this first round, so still have time if you want to. Next matchup, we have Buff Bagwell, who had the infamous Judy Bagwell on a pole match where his mom had to... where his mom had to... Sorry, not on a pole. I wrote that wrong. That shouldn't be on a pole. It was on a forklift. I apologize. I'm going to actually edit that right now.
Leave it.
Judy Bagwell on a No way. I got to put the correct information. Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. And according to Matt, he is a dollar store Scott Steiner versus the Brooklyn Brawler, who, by anyone's definition, is the definition of a jobber. But he had a lot of big matches whenever WWF came to New York because he was the Brooklyn Brawler. So
I would hope so.
How do we feel, gentlemen?
I don't really know
My
much
vote
about
is for...
Buff Bagwell.
Oh, you go. You got a sentence out. Go.
I don't really know much about him. He was on my list because partially for what Freebird said, everything I've seen of him has been corny as hell. But with that said, Brooklyn Brawler is my pick. As noted, he was the definition of a jobber.
I'm going with Buff Bagwell. I don't think there's anything wrong with being known as a jobber. If that's your role, doesn't mean you're bad. It means you're good in your role, and you're being a good enhancement talent to get people over. So I never had a problem with Brooklyn Brawler. Buff Bagwell, though, the few times I did see him in the ring, did not have the stuff.
Interesting. I liked Buff Bagwell in WCW. I did not like any WWF or WWE stuff he did. But with that being said, I do got to go with the Brooklyn Brawler as well. Just, I don't think Bagwell was that bad in WCW compared to Brawler. I know he was a good enhancement talent, but I don't know. If we're going to talk worst wrestler of all time, I'm going to pick one of the guys who just lost all the time and, wasn't pushed as a big name kind of thing, in my opinion. All right, so Brooklyn Brawler makes it through. That's an interesting round, too. Matchup number 23. This is a great one. David Otunga, maybe a worse commentator than wrestler. I don't know, but pretty bad at both. And his gimmick was pretty much who he was married to. I don't think anyone really remembered anything else about David Otunga besides his wife. Versus...
Did he go to an Ivy League school? Went to law, right?
There you go. He went to an Ivy League school, too. Yeah, there you go. We remembered something else. Versus Holla Holla Top Dollar, everyone's favorite. The top rope specialist, Michael Cole's punching bag, Joe Hendry's punching bag, everyone's punching bag, Top Dollar. How are we feeling? Was he a good lawyer, Super Goon? I don't know. I hope so, because he's not wrestling anymore, so you hope he's doing something in law.
I hope Super's sitting at home going, it's Super Go 1, not Super Goon, you idiots. I really hope so.
Oh, Super Go. That's probably true. It might be Super Goon, though. I don't know.
Well, because he has the 1-0 as a 0 or bigger. Who knows? We're winging it here.
If it's who I'm thinking, he is a goon. If it's who I'm thinking he is a goon.
It probably is Super Go 1. I don't think he wants to be called Super Goon.
I don't know.
These days.
We got to find out who that is.
All right. Well, either way, I'm going with Top Dollar. He is awful. He sucks. At least Otunga contributed as part of the Nexus and all that group. And he may have been one-dimensional with the gimmick, but at least he had something different in those days. But Top Dollar, awful. He sucked. All of his raps are lame. No one ever cared about him. The only time they did care was Michael Cole was making fun of him for going over the top rope. He got fired, immediately went to TNA, and was worthless, and is still worthless. Top dollar all day. I will fight on it.
Embrace the hate, ladies and gentlemen. That's what tonight's all about. Matt, who do you hate?
Top dollar, no notes.
Top dollar,
Not
no
even
notes.
close.
I agree. Top dollar has
No notes.
got to go. No way he doesn't make it through to the next round. Had to. All right. Damn, we still got some big names left, ladies and gentlemen, with about eight to 9 matchups left. Let's see what we got here. Matchup number 24, Hornswoggle, the last WWE Cruiserweight Champion, and the anonymous Raw GM versus Von Wagner. And these two notes are all Juice, so I'll let you explain them because I don't know them.
Well, the first one's actually not me, but I can still explain it. So
Well, you
he had a
wrote it.
storyline. No, I didn't. So he had a storyline in NXT where he got hit with the steel steps, and he ended up with like a skull fracture and wore this big bandage on his head for a long time. And then also he did a promo backstage one time where he simply just said "Come Tuesday," but he said it really stupid. Where he was like "Come Tuesday," and it went viral. It became like a meme. So that's really all he's been known for so far.
Fantastic.
It's just the dumb "Come Tuesday" meme and his skull fracture storyline. Yeah.
I'll start off voting with this one because a few weeks ago I watched WeLC and I loved that match. I can't vote Hornswoggle through as the worst wrestler of all time when I just recently watched a match where I thought he was fantastic in. That would be so hypocritical. Von Wagner gets my vote on through. Who's up next?
Matt, by all means.
Okay. The anonymous Raw GM is a positive to me, not a negative, so I vote for Von Wagner.
Wow.
Who is your vote gonna be, Juice?
Hornswoggle.
Ooh.
This is pathetic, but I'm going. Taking everything in me right now to not use my veto because I want to save it for next week just in case something else pops up.
Oh my god.
I'm going to regretfully let this one go.
Oh, Freebird says anonymous Raw GM was terrible, man.
I'm more mad at this one than Nigel getting through.
He should
We
be.
can move on.
Well, that's because Nigel wasn't actually voted through. He was vetoed through. You can't blame the collective for that one. Freebird said he should be on here as a picture of a MacBook with Michael Coe's stupid face.
That would have been lovely.
That would have been great, but that would have been a wrestler. We were just naming some accolades of Hornswoggle. That's all. All right, matchup number 25. This one, I really like just the matchup. I don't know why. I think this is just a fun matchup. Kind of what Juice was saying before, where like you imagine these guys facing each other. The Great Khali, who introduced the Punjabi prison match, one of the worst matches of all time. And personally, for me, it hurt to watch him move because it looked like he just couldn't. Like half the time, it looked like he was struggling to walk, and I felt very bad for him. Barry Horowitz is his opponent, who had the infamous losing streak where he literally went like years without winning a match, and it was all over like every Raw. They'd say like, maybe this is the week, and that was his gimmick. Like, I'll finally win one this week. It was pretty crazy, and he was the original self back patter. So let Tommaso Ciampa know that's a stolen gimmick, pal. All right, watch it. Great Khali, move on, says Freebird. Not even giving us the time of day.
I agree.
I agree with Freebird. Great Khali is my vote.
All right.
And I just want to reiterate, I think that you guys are robbing the people of a potential Great Khali versus Hornswoggle match, but we've already moved on. Great Khali.
Yeah, that would have been way down the line. That would have, yeah. I don't think it would have happened even if Hornswoggle got through, personally.
Just remember what you guys did. Great Khali is my vote.
Just saying. All right. So, Great Khali, clean sweep through. Matchup number 26. We got Snitsky, who, if you don't remember, had my favorite angle, or my favorite promo segment of all time, where he just punted a fake baby into the stands. It was fantastic.
It
I
wasn't
love
his
it.
fault.
And he also was known for his terrible teeth. They were just disgusting to look at. Versus Mojo Rawley, who had way too much energy for just any human being alive and is afraid of mirrors, according to Juice.
Yes, he is afraid of mirrors. It has been studied and proven. He cut a series of promos looking into a mirror and slowly began to form the cracks of the mirror on his face as makeup, as seen in his ring gear cracks in the mirror.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. And I picked the right ring gear by accident. That's even better. A boo was put. Figment's Nightmare said put Snitsky through for not having the balls to punt a real baby. That's a pretty good argument, in my opinion. And you know what? I'm gonna give Figment what he wants. I'm gonna vote Snitsky for not punting a real baby. And also, he is worse than Mojo.
I vote Snitsky as well.
Yeah, they're both terrible. They're both pretty terrible. I was probably going to go with Mojo just because at least Snitsky was entertaining back then with all the crazy, stupid stuff he was doing. Mojo was just way too over the top, and I just grinded my gears. No. I did not enjoy him with always the get hype, and shaking it to me. Shut up and just go away.
Supergirl one.
He was one of those guys where it's like with the not even. He was all like get hype, all energy, and then the bell rang, and then it's like the fuck is he doing?
And the energy didn't really translate to the ring stuff. Yeah, I agree. Supergirl one said this is a hard one. It was a hard one, but I mean, Figment helped me make my choice, so Snitsky moves on. All right. Whew. Oh, we got some heavy hitters left. Here we go. This is definitely Juice's next favorite matchup. Matchup number 27. We have Mark Briscoe, who is, according to Matt, the 2020 version of the Bushwhackers, versus Mason Ryan, a wannabe Batista, and part of the new Nexus that was CM Punk's version of the Nexus. So, I think, as always, we got to let Sal explain himself.
I have to explain myself?
I think you got to explain yourself
Mark
on this
Briscoe?
one. Oh, wait. Sorry. For the record, I've been waiting for you to be back on the podcast to tell you this. So, almost a month ago, you had texted us saying how you were done with Briscoe, how you don't like him, you saw all this, you don't like what he does, yada, yada, yada. And I texted, I was like, I could see that. I know what you mean. And then ever since that text, the next episode since then, I've done a complete 180. His promos, his matches, I'm all in on Briscoe. I think he's been great. I think he's just done a complete reversal. And, now that he has people to bounce off of, like Kyle O'Reilly and stuff, I kind of see the gimmick and see what he's all about. So I told that to Juice a couple weeks ago. I was like, just in case it changes before Matt comes back on the pod, I want to say that now, and then we'll see what happens. And then a few comments. Kevin Last says Mason Ryan, Briscoe shouldn't be on this list. Member of one of the greatest tag teams ever. And Supergo One says Mason Ryan felt like Ryback. Interesting. So, sorry, with all that being said now, Matt, explain yourself.
I'm going to go back to something Juice said before. Mark Briscoe, to me, is a fast-forward guy. As soon as his face hits the TV, fast forward. He gets no more chances with me. He sucks. Fuck him. Fix your teeth. Eat a toad. I don't know what he does in the country. Fuck him. Mark Briscoe's my pick. Was he on Duck Dynasty?
Oh, you said eat a toad.
What do they eat out there?
Oh my god. Kevin Last, I think a lot of us felt
Squirrel
like that.
better?
That was so funny. Juice, I have to ask for the record, who's your pick to move on to the next round?
Respectfully, Mason Ryan.
I agree. Mason Ryan will be moving on to the next round. Oh, that was too funny. I just needed to hear the spiel, man. That was great. All right. Next up, this is a hard one. another hard one, I think. We got Cain Velasquez, whose only match in WWE was against Brock Lesnar and lost. Someone one of us said that we're glad wrestling wasn't his first choice. And then he is facing Tucker, who is a natural disaster wannabe, and for anyone who remembers, was drafted to Raw and then pretty much done nothing with until his release like 3 months later. I don't know who's worse. I don't. This is a pretty tough one. Kev said he forgot he was in WWE until this. I assume meaning Velasquez.
Tough with Kane because it wasn't his fault because he's a real fighter. So like in the ring, you see him holding his punches back. It just was bad. It was bad to watch.
It's true, but Tucker was also kind of like Otis was the entertaining part, as we see from the longevity of Otis still being on our TV every week.
Tucker was the Mark Briscoe of that tag team.
Juice, did you freeze? Oh, there, he's moving.
Nope,
Okay.
I did not freeze.
He's moving.
Kane shouldn't be on this list. Tucker is the Janetti of Janettis, and he is my vote. Tucker.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Like I said before, I think everyone that I picked that was questionable, I at least wanted more than one match. Kane just had one. I think he was just like more of a celebrity than a wrestler, so I'm gonna go with Tucker also.
Yeah, Tucker as well.
All right, clean sweep for the Tuckman. Next up, we have a huge matchup for anyone who watched WCW.
Yes!
You know how this one is. You have John Cena, Super Cena, 5 Moves of Doom Cena versus Steve Mongo McMichael, where the man didn't meet a microphone he did not scream at, and the man didn't wrestle a match where he did not just tackle people, because he used to be a Chicago Bear, and he lets you remember every goddamn promo. And, I didn't put this on here, the worst 4 horsemen probably in the history of 4 horsemen. Everyone hated McMichael. Freebird says McMichael really was terrible. At least Cena could get through a match. So you two didn't see Mongo McMichael, and I'm concerned about this.
I'm gonna do some math here.
Okay.
Cena has 5 moves.
Okay.
Mongo McMichael has 0 moves.
That's
5
true.
is greater than 0.
I agree. Say it.
So you have to do a move. You have to do a move to win a match, I feel like.
Say it, Matt. I don't know. He's gonna go.
Mongo McMichael.
Juice.
John Cena fucking sucks. One of the worst of all time. Ruined decades of wrestling for fans, for talent. I don't care all the make-a-wishes in the world he can do. He can't take back what he did to all the fans. John Cena. I'm going to save everything else because I know he's going to be going. He's going to go through because Danny. I'll save the rest for next week.
Wait, the rest of what?
The rest of the tournament.
I'm confused.
And by the way, Sigmund brings up a good point. Mongo has 1 Super Bowl championship. How many does Cena have? None. 1 more than none. That checks out.
Oh, man. No, I mean, listen, man. I agree Cena isn't good, but you really, you never experienced Mongo McMichael. He's my Tyler Rex. In my opinion, if you guys look at anything he's done in WCW, he legitimately could be a dark horse for the worst wrestler of all time. Like, no promo. If it was a singles match, it wasn't a long one. Lots of tag team matches. He really just was that bad. I gotta go with Steve Mongo McMichael. And I urge, just like I'm doing Tyler Rex, please watch just like 1 or 2 matches of his just to get an idea for next week. Because it'll be not worth it, but it'll help.
All right, well.
his name is John Cena.
Veto.
All right.
He vetoed.
You
Cena's moving
vetoed?
on.
God damn it.
John Cena
Son of a
moves on.
bitch.
Worst wrestler of all time.
Son of
Get him
a
in there.
bitch. All right.
Let's go.
John Cena moving on. Matchup number
That bitch.
30.
That dumb bitch.
So I am the only one left with the veto between now and the end of the tournament. And next, Figment, I don't think you have a sub, so there is no veto for you right now, sir.
All
Next
right.
up, we have
All right,
Rob
let's
Terry, the steroid poster boy, crazy shot from Homicide versus Sheamus, Sheehan's favorite wrestler who looks like a potato now. Juice, who do you pick?
I go with Sheamus.
Matt, who do you pick?
Rob Terry.
I go with Sheamus. Fuck Sheamus. Sheamus is moving on to the next round. Matchup number 31.
The next one. Go, go, go.
We have Eugene. Now, I couldn't type it, but we all know what the problem with Eugene was. So I couldn't type it, but as long as you know. And then we have Michael Nakazawa. Oh wait, I wrote the wrong thing, by the way. I got so distracted, and I'm glad you left this, Juice, because I just realized right now as I was typing it that I was thinking of what's his face. I was thinking of Tozawa in WWE right now.
Yeah.
Which is even worse, because then I really can't think of anything from Michael Nakazawa.
Remember, he did all the fucking baby oil loop shit early on.
Oh, that's right, baby oil boy.
Like,
he is
can I tell
nasty
you in
then,
all
so it does
honesty,
apply. He is nasty.
When AEW first started and they did like that game like convention show, and they did a match with Nakazawa versus I think it's like John like Jabali or some whatever his name is, and they did all the baby oil and comedy stuff. That was the first time when watching AEW, and again, this is before the TV, where I was like, "Oh, AEW might not be that good. Like, this is the comedy shit we're getting." But
Really quick,
yeah,
sorry.
I'm going.
We went through it
Yeah.
so fast that I couldn't give the time of the comments just in case we slowed down. Figment Sideware was trying to stop us, asked why we were going so fast, said this is now rigged and this is a fucking travesty. Figment Nightmare, just a reminder, if you sub next week, you may be able to prevent this from happening again. Because we didn't get the veto. There was no veto this week. There's just no sub this week.
Wait, where did she write veto? Did she write it?
No, he wrote it.
Oh yeah, he wrote it.
He wrote it
Yeah.
before we voted number one. But was there any subs this week? Not that I saw. Last sub was
No.
last week by Keverlast. Square Spectrum gave out a sub 2 weeks ago. That sub does not apply for tonight. We made that clear at the start. And we got
Sorry,
booed
everybody.
by both Figment and Square
Well,
Spectrum.
again, Figment. Again, like Danny said, I don't know if you're subbed, but next week, if you sub or get gifted a sub,
Or
you
supposedly,
can,
if you're this great person that you keep boasting about, someone might want to gift you a sub to help you out. I doubt it, knowing who you are in real life. But if you do have anyone who might want to gift you a sub, you should encourage them to get on the show, gift you a sub, and you could stop this from happening next week, you know? So, moving on. We have Eugene versus Michael Nakazawa. Where are we going with this, gentlemen?
I'm going Nakazawa, just because even though we all know what Eugene was, time and everything, I mean, it was entertaining. It was fun for a while, whereas Nakazawa's never been entertaining to me at all. And the whole baby oil shtick and that whole stuff, it really turned me off to AEW early on. And I don't think he's good at all. So Nakazawa's my vote.
I agree. I've never seen a Nakazawa thing that I was entertained by, so I'm gonna go with Nakazawa as well.
Eugene.
I don't think you're allowed to vote for him. All right, last matchup of the first round. Here we
This is
go.
it?
We have Viscera, who in another version of himself broke The Undertaker's face, which is the reason why he was asked to join the ministry, so The Undertaker would never have to face him again. And
Well, he couldn't face him because Taker had no face.
and he was facing Miro, who is known as the best man, who had Rusev Day when he was in WWE, and he's also known as God's favorite champion.
Is he though?
According to Miro.
Yeah, and only Miro.
So I have to ask, was Miro both of you guys or just one of you guys?
Wasn't me.
He was on mine.
Okay, so just you.
He was
then.
on mine.
Why Miro? Just out of curiosity. At no point in his career, no Rusev, no Miro, no nothing ever did it for you?
Nope. Nope. I think he is just a bodybuilder, and even then, he's just he's just there for the appearance. Like he can't really. I don't like him working in the ring at all. I think it's the same few moves that he does. He just taunts and yells, and he keeps leaning on like using Lana, and it's like all his promos are the same shit. And he has an attitude problem where he never wants to lose, which is a huge turnoff for me for a wrestler.
That's
I
fair.
hate wrestlers like that like don't want to lose or tell a story and go up and down. All they want is to win, 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 win. Yeah, I can't stand him. I know I don't like him, but I think he's truly overrated and one of the worst things going in AEW today, even though he hasn't been on AEW since like December.
Agreed.
But
that makes
awful.
sense. Keverlast says Big Daddy V was enough to scare me and should move on. Viscera, according to J DeFalco 7, was a GOAT in WWF No Mercy, though. So that's something you might want to consider.
He got some titties.
He got some titties.
He had Abdul the Butcher titties.
See, Viscera had that move in No Mercy where like you like laid on top of them and you just started like humping them and shit.
Tig old biddies, according to Keverlast.
Some tickle bitty.
Matt, let's start with you, bro. Where do you want to vote here?
A little torn. That was a good speech there by Juice. Coupled with Miro not wearing shoes, which is a big no-no for me when I'm watching wrestlers.
Yes.
If they don't have shoes, not a fan.
Gentlemen, what are we doing? What are you saying?
Amen.
But Viscera was awkward to watch and just made me uncomfortable. And if it was Mabel, I might vote for him, but it's Viscera, so I'm not sure at this moment.
For the record, all right, and I was gonna let it go, but Viscera should not be the version on this tournament. It should be Mabel. Mabel was the worst version of this man. Mabel was the most terrible, dangerous version of this man. I hated King of the Ring. I hated everything about Mabel. At least Viscera had the... What?
So we talked about this, me and Matt. So just for everybody at home, Matt and I both had Viscera on our list. Danny had Mabel. So I said it's not going to make sense to put the same person with two different gimmicks on the
You're
list.
right, because they're
This is
wrong.
2 out of 3. All right, well, says the guy that used Big Daddy V as the picture for Viscera.
Hey,
but I digress.
I told you I want to use clear pictures. You guys bitch about the picture quality. I finally use good ones, and then you bitch about that. Pick something, all right? Jesus Christ.
You never bitch about picture quality.
That's false. You guys only make awful decisions. Why are you shocked you made another absolute trash one according to Figment's Nightmare?
Yeah, well, either way. Honestly, I if it helps you, Matt, with your decision, I consider every gimmick all-encompassing of the wrestler and the person. Like we did with Shockmaster before.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. I think I have to go with Viscera. Miro put shoes on.
Okay.
Juice.
Yeah. Viscera probably can't even put on his own. Yeah, I'll go with Miro. They're both terrible, but Miro's the current hate, so it wins out.
No, I will forever hate Viscera. That just never good. Never liked anything he did, and I can't ever forgive him for breaking his face. That was awful. And he wasn't the only one. He also hurt Nash's back. I'm not saying I like Nash anywhere near as Taker, but he was just so dangerous, man. It was just so bad. So Viscera makes it through. That is the end of our first round. Lots of expected picks, lots of surprise matchups, lots of sad people here like Figment's Nightmare, like any John Cena fan, like any Steve Mongo McMichael hater. It's crazy. It's crazy what happened. But to sum up, we are now down to 16. 32, I'm sorry. 16 matchups, 32 superstars. We will be doing round 2 next week. I am the only one left with a veto. All right, Matt used his veto. Remind me who you used your veto on one more time. Oh, on Nigel McGuinness, putting him through. Juice used his veto on John Cena, pushing him through. So that's one veto left. I can only use it the next round. It sounds like Figment's Nightmare might also need to get himself a veto because it's a pretty good shot. I ain't letting this Sheamus hate go, buddy. So you better come back next week ready to go. With that being said, any final words from my co-host?
No, I'm good. Listen, everybody, if you were here watching, we really appreciate it. Be sure to come back next week. This video will be available on our Twitch on demand, and I believe also on our YouTube once we're done. Share it with your friends. Tell people about it. If you have any other wrestling friends or any other wrestling nerds that dig this stuff, let them know about it. Tell them to come on through and watch this the rest of the tournament all next week. We really loved it tonight. We always love these tournament episodes when you guys come out and chat with us. It's awesome. Thank you.
Sweet. Guys, really fun time last night. Keverlast, thank you for the great job. He said, welcome back, Matt. Supergo1 says, very entertaining. Thank you guys so much. We had a great time. Next week, round 2, Thursday night. All 3 of us are going to try to be back here. Same time, same place. Please join us. See you guys next week. Thank you.
Peace out. And maybe I get to do the intro next time. Hey, yo.
Flip a bag, bring it back. Do it clean, clean, clean. Smoke a sack, keep a Mac. Sippin' lean, lean, lean. Good chill, pop a pill. Make a scene, scene. 50 racks, Sunday bands, up my jeans. Yeah.
Dangerous, no, I don't back down. Don't back down, don't back down. Leave your heart laying on the ground, on the ground, on the ground. Dangerous, no, I don't back down. Don't back down, don't back down. Tell me who the killer now? Killer now, killer now. Left me dry in the deep end. Spilled my guts on my feelings. Left me dry in the deep end. Thought this would last forever. Keeps you moving, keeps you vibing, keeps you moving.
we break it down. We built it, and then we break it down.
Hey, click, run it up.
Step it up, step it up. Step it up, step it up.
We built it, and then we break it down. We built it, and then we break it down.
Step it up, step it up. Step it up, step it up.
We built it, and then we break it down. We built it, and then we break it down.
Step it up, step it up. Step it up, step it up.
all alone, all alone. I can't do it all alone, all alone.